moment, I would like to call the team Never Settle to come up on the stage and show us their presentation. So put your hands together for the team Never Settle.
Asset to your company, is it liquid asset or high technological machinery? Obviously, your employees should be the most important asset to your company. Now the case given to us is going to be presented by Team Never Settle. And after analyzing the industry, we have found that Bangladesh is the second largest R&D explorer in the world. And there are 5,000 garments consisting of 74.4 million workers. And this whole industry exports 31 billion. And they are trying to reach 50 billion by 2020 year. And the country's 80% export comes from this sector. And the overview of this case is that there is a company named Paradise Fashion that is facing challenges to retain desired profit level because their high skilled laborers are migrating due to lack of labor satisfaction. Now, as a management consultant, we need to make a plan that will be needed to mitigate this problem. And after analyzing the case, we found that this company has huge export revenue, but they have higher training cost, and because their workers are turning over. And the opportunity is that they can easily increase their profit by increasing their productivity. But the threat is that they are lack of skilled workforce. Now the symptom that leads us to the core issue is that loss of productivity, lack of satisfaction, higher increasing training cost. And because of this, we are decreasing our profit. And because of this entire issue, this company is losing their competitiveness in the global market. Now, moving to the core issue of this entire case. And the core issue is that loss of skilled labor due to migration to the other companies.
Ladies and gentlemen, to solve this problem of labor dissatisfaction, which causes loss of skilled labor force, we've come with a big idea. That is, we're going to create a delighted workforce to reduce the reduce worker migration. Because a delighted workforce works better, happier, and works for longer time for the company. Ladies and gentlemen, we have identified two alternatives, first of which is making a 10-story building to accommodate the workers and giving them related facilities such as proper sanitation, proper food. And the second alternative is providing monetary and non-monetary benefits as like Alim Garments Limited is doing to its workers. So ladies and gentlemen, digging deeper into the alternatives, we find that the first alternative has the advantage of motivating workers, and as it decreases the living cost because they do not have to pay any rent. However, ladies and gentlemen, it causes the formation of a strong trade union which might later pressurize the company to give better benefits to them and increase the cost. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this alternative in itself incurs a huge administrative cost, and ladies and gentlemen, making this alternative a reality is a challenge in itself. That means a lack of feasibility for this alternative. This is the financial of the first alternative, and as you can see that there is a cost of more than 9 crore if we follow this alternative, which is a huge cost for the company. Ladies and gentlemen, the second alternative, however, though a huge investment is required and it might cause difficulties in terms of crisis situation. However, the second alternative, which is providing monetary and non-monetary benefits to the motivations like Alim Garments, provides huge motivations because it solves the psychological needs, it provides the psychological needs to the workers through monetary and non-monetary benefits alike, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the financial of the second alternative. As you can see that it only costs annually 64 lakh, more than 64 lakh, and it will decrease in the upcoming years, ladies and gentlemen. So as you can already guess that we have gone with alternative 2, that is, we will be providing them with monetary and non-monetary benefits based on the benefits that I've already explained. And for that, the plan of action, which will be explained by Foyez, please, if you could.
Now, to implement our chosen alternative, we need some strategies. So we have come up with 2 strategies. First one is make them stay. In this strategy, what we are going to do, we will provide some monetary services that our workers find necessary in their daily lives. What this will do, as you know, even 500 to 1000 taka extra monetary benefit is enough to motivate a worker to shift his employer. And in the next strategy, that is make them EA, we are going to transform our satisfied workforce into a delighted one, so that they stay with us for a longer period of time. As a part of the first strategy, make them stay, the first program is profit sharing scheme. What we will be doing is that we will share 2.5% of our yearly earned profit with our workers, so that they feel that they are also part of this organization, and it will be divided according to their yearly performance. In the next program, we will create a workers' provident fund where the contributors will both be the employer and the employee, but the employer is going to make double contributions than the employee. And we will also give them another facility that they can take emergency loans from this fund. In the next plan, we will provide them the facility of turning their unused sick leaves in the year into a monetary benefit, so that they can get the facility monetarily. And we will also provide transportation services to the distant workers, and we will provide medical facilities in our factory, which will be well facilitated and well developed. And lastly, as part of our Make Them Stay strategy, we have a program called Share and Care, where we have a hotline where especially the female workforce can dial 456 at any time and reach a professional counselor, and she can share her problems that she might be facing in her personal or working life, and that too confidentially.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this part of strategy, we will shift our satisfied worker into delighted one. We will implement this strategy by establishing a daycare center for the children of the workers, so that the female workers do not have to be worried about their family. In the next part, the management by walking around systems will include roaming around the employees, having regular conversation on regular basis, so the employees of this company feel that they are the part of this company, they are the part of this family. Next comes Falgun Fest. Pohela Falgun is one of the most celebrated occasions of this country, but it is not a public holiday. So what we have decided is that the workers of this company will come to work on the day wearing festive clothes. And there is the annual cultural event where there will be a talent show, and following that, top performers will be receiving awards. And who can forget the most refreshing annual picnic of our company? And we will be doing some CSR activities. So basically what we will be doing is that we will be issuing a yearly circulation where the workers of this company will apply for the scholarship of their children. After analyzing all the aspects, top 50 students will receive Shikha Vritti from our company. And then there is the wedding fund. It is something new. Actually, the expense of wedding is one of the most crucial things that parents have to bear. So we have designed this wedding fund in such a way that will help financially to bear this expense. So in our whole presentation, we have tried to be creative and to bring some new ideas. And the production-based profit-sharing scheme and the idea of wedding fund are example of that creativity.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the entire presentation had one objective: to retain the workers, ladies and gentlemen, to decrease the turnover rate. And why will our alternative do that? Ladies and gentlemen, we have provided them with necessary incentives. The worker has certain needs. Firstly, monetary needs, which we have fulfilled by our welfare fund, by our profit sharing scheme. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the workers have family needs, and we have fulfilled them. How? By giving them wedding funds and certain activity and certain more monetary incentives. Ladies and gentlemen, they have social needs, which we have fulfilled by giving them picnics, by giving them Falcon Fest and what not, ladies and gentlemen. They can socially come together and enjoy their lives as well. And the safety issue of women. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done something that has not been done before. We have actually will be appointing counselor who will be talking to the female workers who cannot share their personal problems with anyone else. But they can do it to that counselor alone who will have the privilege, ladies and gentlemen. We're actually working on the safety and security issue of women as well. So ladies and gentlemen, the psychological impacts of the worker will be such poor alternatives that they will not think of leaving this company anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, what happens when the company is in a crisis situation? What happens? How do we solve with so much expense, increasing the expense because of the workers? Ladies and gentlemen, we have funds for the workers such as welfare fund, wedding funds and such other funds which are not being used for the entire year. But we can use those funds for the short-term financing of the company, for internal and external financing in terms of crisis, ladies and gentlemen. So this is an advantage for using our alternative as well. Ladies and gentlemen, monitoring. How do you understand that our alternative is succeeding at the end of the day? We have some key indicators. Firstly, we will calculate the worker turnover rate, ladies and gentlemen. That is how many workers are leaving after 1 year of applying this very model. And ladies and gentlemen, if it decreases, then we are successful. We will take worker reviews and understand what their feedback is on our new alternatives and new ways how we are trying to incentivize them. And ladies and gentlemen, if the worker review is positive, amazing. If not, we'll need to work on that. So this is a key indicator in here. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing is there was an increase in training cost in the recent past in the industry because of the skilled workers leaving. So we will calculate the training cost at the end of the year. So we will understand whether there is a decrease in training cost. If there is, then we are successful. We are retaining our skilled workers. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, the financials, the most important. As you can see, our alternative has a cost of first year of above 64 lakh, ladies and gentlemen. This financial has been provided to you in details. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see that in the second year onwards, the cost decreases to 62 lakhs, above 62 lakhs. This is a close estimate to what our model will cost, ladies and gentlemen. And we can see that this is not much because the amount of productivity that research shows that will increase due to the motivation and skilled workers is much greater than the cost in itself. And as we can see that according to the website of Paradise, we can see that they make a huge profit, and according to that, this cost is not a much added to their cost to retain this. So this was the second years and onwards. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the total after 5 years. The cost is this 3 crore. So ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by saying that let's take a leap forward to sending the worker turnover rate of our country to the museums by applying our alternatives. Thank you.
Nice presentation, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you.
In your presentation you talked about delighted workforce. What do you mean by that?
Delighted workforce is something that we are as delighted and satisfaction. There is a thin difference between that. Satisfied workforce, satisfied worker can actually leave the company when he gets something more satisfying. So what we are doing is actually we are providing extra incentives by our second strategy. The first strategy was the necessary incentives, the monetary incentives and the medical incentives. And the the one was make them yay. By yay, we say that how excited they are by the extra benefits that we're providing them. So they're delighted and will not leave the company because of these benefits.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you have presented lots of non-monetary benefits, and at the end you have given the financials, which is quite good.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. And you have calculated the profit sharing at the rate of 2.5% of the profit, which comes down to 20 lakhs of 20 lakh taka per year. Yeah? Did you derive it from the 10 million?
Sir, actually I have a relative who is working at Bolton Refit Garments, and I have taken the information from them. The garments industry, usually garments keep a 10% profit from the revenues, 10% profit of the revenues, entry revenue. So the revenue we collected from the website of the Paradise Garments, and thus we calculate the profit.
The revenue is given in the case, like $10 million?
No, 10 million is the, it's given in the case, but it has also been said that it decreased over the past year. So we took the recent revenue.
What's the recent revenue? I'm not aware of that.
It's kind of
the revenue in the case provided, which is $10 million. $10 million, you converted them that into 800 crore taka. then the 10% of the revenue is
80 crore taka.
yes sir.
10 million 80 crore taka. So you have taken 10% profit,
Yes.
that becomes 8 crores.
Yes.
And from the 8 crores, there is 2.5%.
Yes.
That gives to 20 lakhs.
Yes.
So there might be slight miscalculation. In the case there was provided that $10 million revenue.
Revenue, yes.
That translates to 800 crore BDT.
80 crore BDT. 800 million.
Yes, 80 crore BDT. So 10% of this is the 80 lakh BDT.
80 crores, 10% is 8 crore.
8 crore, exactly.
Yeah.
So if
8 crore, and you are giving 2.5% of 8 crore.
It's correct.
Yes. Right. So it comes to 20 lakhs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that was I was just checking your calculation. Okay, so thank you, nice to.
Any more questions?
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question. You are showing 64 lakh 50,000 taka as investment per year. So
First year.
first year, let's say second year it will be slightly less, but on an average even actually I take 60 lakhs. For 2,000 worker per month, you are probably investing less than 300 taka.
Yes.
So you are giving a lot of schemes. For example, you are talking about doing Falguni days and the other social benefits. I have doubts actually. Just investing 300 taka per person, is it really possible to do so many things? You are also talking about profit sharing on within that. So 300 taka per person, investing that, because the workers will obviously think they can get 500 taka more salary in another neighboring factory, for example. So will that be a very attractive package?
Well, as I've said in our slides, I've provided in my slides. There are some incentives that the psychological impacts we've calculated. There are monetary needs as well as family, social and safety issues of women. Other companies are not addressing those issues. For example, an innovative idea that we've brought is the wedding fund. You know, every parents has to save something when the child grows up, they need to get them married. So we're providing them wedding fund, so we're bearing some of the cost of the marriage. So this in itself is certain incentive to them, and we're providing many other incentives for them as well. So I think all these incentives provided together, along fulfilling the monetary, family, social, safety issues, I think this will work pretty well.
But still, I mean, 300 taka, at a glance if I see, I mean, you are investing less than 300, it's around 270 taka per person per month. So with that, I mean, little amount, is it possible to do so many things? That's my concern.
Yes, we've given the estimates of the calculations in the financials as well. And it looks a lot actually, you know, we are actually doing a lot. There are funds which are not being used, but like for welfare funds, they can take loans from there if necessary. So there are a lot of facilities here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. There is lots of loopholes here. It seems like money is unlimited, and it will be coming from buyer will be giving money at all the orders, and we will have to solve those things.
Actually, what happened, sir? We were in the case we were given only two alternatives: either build a 10-story building for the workers, or follow the steps followed by Alim Garments who are working on the social needs or workers funds and so on. So what we have done is that we have calculated all the issues that evolve from these amounts, and we have come out to these financial values.
And if I may add, sir, actually, sir, the thing is that this alternative provides you with a lot of things, a lot of other benefits as well. And as you can see, money is unlimited. When we provide these incentives, when we retain these skilled workers, the productivity increases. And according to research, the productivity will increase around, the motivated workers' productivity increases with about 12%. So when their productivity increases, so does our profit. So I believe that this will cover our costs as well.
I have one question. For For example, if you are not given a specific choice of building a 10-story building, dormitory building, if you are given an option that you can build any dormitory building, will you still consider the option 1 or still?
No, sir. Actually, the thing is, accommodating 2,000 workers at a place is not a feasible thing. It's actually making this a reality is very difficult. The options given, 10-story building for 2,000 people, and as you can see, the cost is above almost 9 crore per year. So this is actually not very much feasible. That's why this is the best solution, I believe, for this very case.
Do you know Bangladesh government, even Bangladesh Bank is giving very low-cost financing for the dormitory of the workers?
Yes, that is true, but however, I believe that even if we take these loans at the time of order shortage, when there will be at times of crisis, as mentioned in the case, in terms of crisis, it will be difficult for us to repay that loan as well.
Why did you assume that the dormitory will be free of charge for the workers? It is not mentioned in the
case. If it is not free of charge, then there is no point of building it, because in the case it is said that they go to another company just because of more 500 taka, if they have to pay for their own rent.
For example, if you, let's say they are renting a house at 1,000 taka, but they don't get a housing dormitory or housing dwelling place. But if you, at the same money, if you can build a dormitory which gives much more benefits, isn't that justified?
Well, if it brings much more benefits, then the cost that we'll take from them should be more. And in 500 taka more, they go to another company. So if you're not charging them, if you're charging them less than 500 taka, that's okay. But I don't think giving so many facilities and charging them less than 300 taka will cover up the cost that we're incurring because of this dormitory thing.
You charge them the same amount, you charge them the same amount they are paying elsewhere, but you give them much better facilities. I'm talking about in that case.
Okay, in that case, yes, some needs like maybe family needs is fulfilled, but the monetary needs are not fulfilled at that point. You know, there are the monetary needs and other needs as well, as seen in the psychological impacts. So in that case, other needs might be fulfilled, but the monetary need might not be fulfilled.
All right, thank you very much. I think
Thank you. Thank you, sir.